where is your journey started? Because it's a very niche space, what you're talking about. It's not usual. Like, I'm also coming from India. You came from India sometime, long time ago maybe. But more of our people, like most of our people are either techies or, into IT and all that stuff. How did you pick up this? Like, where did you come from? What's your background actually?
So, Ganesh,
If you
was very
can
interesting. You
go
asked
more
me.
into details, yeah.
Yeah. So, I studied as an engineer,
Okay.
but that didn't really felt like my calling, to be
Okay.
honest. So, as soon as I graduated out of that, and I was supposed to join one IT company, but I moved consciously away from there, and
Okay.
I went to MICA, which was funded in those days.
The
by-
textile one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
MICA is like Mudra Through Communications.
Yeah.
Is funded by Ambani's and Dhirubhai Ambani when he was there. So I studied there, and we had some stalwarts there from the field of advertising. And this is where I spent my 2 years. And post that, I worked in advertising. I've always worked in advertising.
Okay.
When I came to UK in 2001, I was doing work in theater, and I was studying theater. I was writing, and I did a postgraduate in Sheffield.
Okay.
But then again, when I came back to the commercial space, that was one area where I wanted to go back into, because I understood that, and also realized that somewhere, in terms of opportunity, UK was very close. It was to a large extent a middle class white man's club. It has changed a lot. It has changed dramatically, but still the core is the same.
True.
So eventually I found myself into a niche, and I could see how London was changing. You're going to meet Sadiq, and he's an example. I mean,
Yeah.
in our times, in our very own times, things have changed so much in London, in
True.
the United Kingdom. We have Sadiq here, we have Rishi, and in Scotland,
Yeah.
we have Yusuf Hamza. So we have this whole narrative shift, leadership shift, in terms of how it was before and how it is now. And that is reflective of the people who are
Yeah.
driving the cities, the people who are driving the economy in this country. And somewhere my organization and what I was doing was reflecting that,
Yeah.
was mindful of these changes happening. And where you can see that color still playing a
Matters.
role. Recently, we did a campaign for Vatika, for Dabur Vatika, and then that's about celebrating women in workspace this year on International Women's Day, and that is more about women of color, who don't have that much voice, and they get exploited. The pay gap is huge wherever they're working. So there are issues like that in terms of commerce, in terms of how things are. And the United States has an influence, because that's where you have a lot of people from
Sense.
wrong narrative, which we are focusing on. It had to be there for some reason, because some glass ceiling had to be broken.
Yeah.
But I would say,
But I would say, Manish, the reason it would have been come up, because as I mentioned, like 10, 15 years back, you'd have never thought about like such thing happening across the globe. So when people across the globe have seen this, like, talking about Rishi, right? African origin, or like he's from Africa, he's basically from Indian origin, and all like rest of the world has seen it as like such a big change. Like, wow, it's something big happening now. And you rightly mentioned about Obama's story as well, because the whole world has seen like, okay, this can happen now. Though the skill set and the leadership capability and all make sense, but at the same time, the narrative, because the reason I'm mentioning and talking to you about Manish, I know you're not into politics, but the reason I'm talking to you, because you look at the culture as a fundamental thing for your business. So my question to that, actually, I'm diving into that question through this, is what do you see? Like, how do you think the multinational companies are thinking about multicultural marketing as an element? Like, was it there before? As like, because when I have seen your profile, Manish, it was very fascinating, because I never thought, I'm a finance guy, I'm a tax guy, but I was not thinking in the lines of, okay, does this happen in the firms? Do they actually think about this into detail? And when I see your profile, it did make sense to me. So can you give me a bit more background on how does multicultural marketing works in the multinational companies or
Yeah,
or the
sure.
or the local companies as well? Yeah.
So, Ganesh, I mean, many a times when I knock on certain doors, I mean, the answer is, well, I'm in this country, we're going to have a standard piece of communication, yeah, which we might, maybe shift a little or tweak a little,
Yeah.
but it's going to be the same. We're not going to pander or cater to different sections of the society. And that's a racist view, in my view. It's clearly saying that, look, we want to keep the power in control. We're not going to celebrate or acknowledge fully other cultures. Oh, yeah, we might do something, which says that, yeah, tick box, that we also do this, and we are okay with this, and we also celebrate this. But we're not going to embrace it. There's a difference. Embracing different cultures creates an impact.
Yeah.
And multinational companies, unfortunately, their leadership does not acknowledge it. And I won't say I had a huge amount of success, but I had some breakthroughs. For example, my very first campaign was for Asta. And in those days, I think
It was
everyone...
Ramadan, I think, right? It's more of a regressive economic strategy as well,
Yeah.
because if you want to be progressive, even like looking at the world market, like, I'm into international markets. So I see that, even the Islamic countries are moving more towards, kind of urbanization, making sure that, it's no more a religion-based country
I mean,
like
Abu Dhabi is
Saudi Arabia. Like,
yeah.
Abu Dhabi has
is
a
great
temple now.
example. I mean,
Yeah, Abu Dhabi
it
has a
was one
big
of the
temple.
big temples.
Yeah, Babs.
Babs, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And even KSA, right? I mean, Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
like Prince Salman picked up this vision 2030, and he's saying, like, we will develop. It's like it's going to be the next Dubai for you. So there's a narrative shift happening from the Islamic countries. So then if the other countries doesn't pick up and don't look into progressive academy strategy, it's not going to work out. So I think there has to be a shift overall into the commercial element as such. Okay, that makes sense.
No, shift, absolutely. And, coming back to your original question, which was, that was hit the nail on the head, that is there acceptance of multicultural marketing?
Yeah.
I would say not really. It's happening, but it's happening because people see the numbers.
Yeah.
But I would like it to be integrated into the business, into the culture of the business.
Yeah.
Wherein everyone looks at it and says that, yes, this needs to be part of our overall marketing in a holistic way and not just a tick in the box.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you work more on the product-based marketing, Manish, or is it more like you actually build the culture for the organizations? Are the two different areas? Like, let's go into your business into detail now. Here and Now 365. First of all, very interesting name. Yeah. How did you think of that, and what are your services basically? What do you guys do?
So our services are, everything which a traditional advertising or marketing company offers.
Okay.
Which is, you take it from doing the creative work, doing the brand work, and then the bigger piece or the bigger revenue is the media, where you're buying relevant media